Hey guys, coming at you today with a delicious, soft, and fluffy keto angel food cake. You guys mentioned the protein sparing bread, so I got to experimenting and it turned out pretty delicious. So let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, thanks for joining me. My name's Alycia and I'm a sous chef with a sweet tooth. And here we make delicious pastries, many from my time as a pastry chef. And my goal is to make the best keto desserts possible. So if you enjoy these recipes, please consider hitting the subscribe button, hitting the thumbs up, leaving me a comment. It all helps my channel grow and to bring you new keto desserts every Saturday. Today, something I've been avoiding for a while, this protein-sparing bread. I've seen it made into buns and all this other stuff, and it just never looked appealing. But then I found Indigo Neely. I hope I'm saying that right. I tried to watch a bunch of her videos to see if she said her name, but I appreciate her videos because she taught me a lot about this bread and things you could do with it. And I took some of her stuff. I'm working on bread, but I have not figured out an add-in that is any different than hers right now. But I did figure out a sweet version, and this still only has 2 grams of net carbs for 9 portions. So I think it's technically, I did some research on the protein sparing modified fast, and I didn't even get deep into it because I knew I wouldn't be able to do it because working in a kitchen, I'm around stuff all day and I cannot be that strict with my diet, which is why I love keto, is because I can easily do it in my everyday life. So it's not a diet plan for me. If it is for you and you guys are doing it, this is a delicious treat, and I think it's okay to have on it because I use 1 tablespoon of coconut flour, and that's it for carbs. So I'm really excited to bring you this recipe because I think it turned out awesome, and I want to show you guys how to make it. I took a lot of direction from her, so I am gonna be putting her link down in the description box because I would not know half the stuff I know without watching her videos. But I do love, it was always a thing in the culinary world that you always put your wet ingredients in the bottom. And I never really thought about it because it's just something automatic that I do usually. But it is really good for this recipe to do that. Because this egg white powder is sticky when it gets wet. And it'll just all stick to the bottom of your bowl. So I kind of used measurements from an angel food cake recipe with regular egg whites, but I converted it to the powder and water mixture, and then I kind of kept their original like cream of tartar, and I cut down the salt a little bit, but then I added my ingredients. It's 118 grams or a half cup of water. I'm at about a half cup on my measuring cup, but I always weigh still just to make sure it's accurate. I just looked up this conversion online, so yeah, it was a couple grams short. That's why I do that. Oh, and now I'm too many. A gram is not very much, so it can be annoying to try and get the exact. I do a little splash at a time. Okay, 118. I gotta make sure I look at my recipe this whole time because I did a bunch of different tests and I want to make sure I get it right on this video, unlike my coffee cake video. So zero out the scale. This egg white protein powder, it was what she used in one of hers. She said she got bulk supplements because I did not know where to begin on buying a big bag of egg white protein. So I just buy the It's Just brand because I only use a couple tablespoons at a time usually. 24 grams or 3 tablespoons of this. This stuff is really hard to get an accurate measurement on too because it's so light and fluffy. So I always say you should weigh your ingredients. This stuff goes everywhere. 24. Try not to hit it on anything or anything because it goes flying. Hey, look, my hands are all covered in egg white protein. Okay, so for their original recipe, it was way more egg white protein. And I believe their original was like a 1/4 cup of allulose for a whole batch. I'm still doing a 1/4 cup plus another 1/4 cup. So I'm doubling it. So it's going to be a lot sweeter. The sweetness level is up to you on this. I'm adding vanilla stevia on top of that because I just think it doesn't have much flavor otherwise. A regular angel food cake has tons of sugar in it. It is just sugar, egg whites, and cake flour. Allulose isn't as sweet as regular sugar either. So zero out your scale again. You're gonna add most of the stuff to this. That's what they did in their videos. They added everything to the whites, and then at the end they added their extra ingredients that they were adding. This is all I have left in my 20-pound box of allulose. I ordered again, $160, because I go through it so fast. 80 grams. I found that each tablespoon was about 10 grams. 10 grams times 8 tablespoons for a half cup. 80 grams. There's that. And then they had a half a teaspoon of salt in, I think, their whole batch. So I'm only doing a quarter of a teaspoon in this. And I don't have the Redmond's real salt. I just have Himalayan pink sea salt. I don't know if that matters that much. And then I tried it with a quarter teaspoon of cream of tartar and I didn't get the best results. It might have been something else I did though. So I'm keeping it at a half teaspoon though, which is what they used in their whole batch. So then you just whip that for 5 minutes. But while that's whipping, you can get the rest of your ingredients, but I'm gonna explain them real quick. There's only 3, which are my usual 3 flour mixtures. What I normally do, I don't usually measure out like when I'm doing testing. I measure right into my sifter. So 1 tablespoon is only 7 grams of coconut flour. There you go, 7 grams. It's only 1 scoop of protein powder. So zero this out. 1 scoop is supposed to be 29 grams, but if you don't pack it up really good, you might get 28, or you could overpack it and get 30. So 1 packed scoop. It was 29 that time. And then just a half teaspoon of xanthan gum. This doesn't take long to come together either, so I probably should have gotten this done before. Preheating oven to 325. Those are our dry ingredients. This is what I'm using to make our little angel food cakes, which I thought would be nice to have individuals. And I did freeze some. I'm gonna take some out and see how they defrost. But I think they're gonna be easily frozen because I have angel food cake in my work freezer right now. They come in frozen. You just pull them out and defrost them and top them with whatever, and it works great. I think doing it individuals is a better option here, and they look cute. They look like those little angel food cups that you can buy at the store and fill with like fruit and whipped cream. It's perfect. So I'm gonna give these a little spray, and then we're gonna get these whipping, and then the only other ingredients are vanilla extract and vanilla stevia. Start low. After the first initial, I always give it a scrape down because we're not doing the big batch that they're doing. Theirs comes up to like the top of their mixer. This isn't going to come up that high, so you want to get all that egg white protein that you can down into your bowl. Otherwise, it's not all in there. Apparently today is train day. Sorry. Well, we're going to be whipping this for 5 minutes. Let's give it another scrape down. You can see there's some egg white powder up on top here. I want to make sure it's all in there. When it's here, I like to add my vanilla and my stevia. This doesn't cause any kind of deflation or anything in it. It shouldn't, it's just egg whites. So you add that to egg whites all the time. Same thing, the stevia doesn't seem to have any adverse reactions to it. I did a half a teaspoon last time. If you have just regular stevia, add a little bit more vanilla. This is completely up to you. Like if you make it and it's too sweet for you, just cut down the liquid stevia if you like. So just mix that in, and then we're gonna mix all the dry ingredients at once, get into a piping bag, pipe it, and get it into the oven. Scrape down a little bit because there's vanilla extract up top. You want this a little bit stiffer still, and if after you add the vanilla, you can still whip it more too if it's not whipped enough. You want it at very stiff peaks. So probably even go more than that. You can see as it's whipping that you see all the lines in it. That's when you know you're getting real thick. You know, I didn't even do any research. I wonder if you can over whip powdered egg whites like you can regular. See, it has really stiff peaks now. That's what you want. So we're gonna add in all our dry ingredients at once and give it a whip in here. I did try doing the traditional method of making an angel food cake where you pour only like a third of the ingredients in at a time and like gently fold. But we lost way too much air doing that because of the coconut flour just deflating the egg whites. So I found the best way was to just add it all at once, whip it up really good, give it a stir when it comes off, and get it into the baking dish. You can also make this I was making it in an 8-inch springform pan. Just make sure you grease it and line the bottom with parchment paper before you do that. Do have to grease this because there's literally no fat in here. I think for the whole batch, 1 gram of fat for the whole batch. So all at once, whip it real good. Start low, but then go. Scrape it down once. One more whip. I need room, so move it over here. Pretty like gloopy still. That's what you want. You don't want it to get too deflated. So I use a cup trick for this because when it's really liquidy, it's hard to do it in your hand. So fill up your piping bag as much as you can. You may have to do a second fill. But you want to fill these up pretty much all the way. So you go around a circle, even pressure, all the way around. It also depends on how deflated your stuff gets, how much batter you're going to put in each one. Go in for the rest. Get in there. It wasn't opened enough. And that extra allulose really makes for a soft angel food cake. So I was debating on not making it that soft, but why not have it softer than drier? Because like a regular angel food cake is kind of dry until you put a bunch of sweet berries on top, right? So why not have it nice and soft and you can just eat it as it is? Doesn't even need to be enhanced with anything really. We are going to add some, of course, because I'm a little bit extra like that. Got to make it pretty. I was just snacking on it by itself yesterday. And like, you don't feel guilty about it because it's like literally no ingredients. And it tastes delicious. That's it. These are going into the oven for 20 to 22 minutes and we'll be back when they come out of the oven. I am going to turn halfway through. Here are our delicious angel food cake. They're so fluffy. Gotta let these cool completely. They will sink a little bit just like regular angel food cake. But then we'll pop them out and we'll give them a try once they're cooled. Super easy. Okay, time to pop these guys out. If you greased them enough, they should come right out. I'll show you right now before we even decorate them or anything. They are like chewy and fluffy. They don't have, I watched some of her videos, the choky feeling. When you eat it, you squish it and it like just squishes. It disintegrates in your mouth just like regular angel food cake. It's like a cross between a marshmallow and angel food cake. It is super delicious. We're gonna make some toppings for this though. We can't just eat it plain. Well, I've been eating it plain a lot, but it is gonna be really good with, I think I'm gonna do some sweetened raspberry whipped cream for the top. It's gonna be good. It's yummy. So cute. Snack on this one. I'm gonna use my favorite tool. This will be linked below, my immersion blender. Love this thing. Makes it so easy to make whipped cream. Gotta get my ingredients. I'm gonna measure this for you, just in case you wanna make this exact same thing. I'm gonna do 8 ounces of whipped cream, or heavy whipping cream, just because we have a lot of these now. So I'm sure my boyfriend will enjoy this. He loves this kind of dessert, light, not too sweet. And I think because I'm gonna use my raspberry jam that I made for my thumbprint cookies, I don't think we're gonna need to stabilize this whipped cream because this is pretty gelatinized from cooking it down so much with the allulose, but I could be wrong. I'll update if that's not the case and it gets really weepy and gross after a couple of hours. We'll start with a heaping tablespoon of raspberry jam in there and we'll whip it up, and I'll see if we need any more sweetener. If anything, I'll use a little bit of liquid stevia to sweeten it. Make sure this isn't on high. Oh, it was. Put it down to a little bit under half. Gotta change the battery on my front camera. To be continued. Knew I should have changed it when I changed my SD card, but I didn't. Back to the whipped cream. Not quite done yet, but I want to taste it for the raspberry and sweetness before we get it to the stiff peaks we want. Definitely use more raspberry. Right now it is not sweet enough, but I'll try it again after I add this. Let's try that. That's good. Use a little bit more though. 2.5 tablespoons. I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla stevia. You can also add just regular stevia too if you want. I just did 10 drops. It looks really pretty. Oh, that is good. Put a dollop right on top. A tiny bit of raspberry jam. That looks delicious. Be pretty if you piped it on, but I was feeling lazy. I have not tried this anyway, but just plain, so this is totally new for me too. This raspberry jam, I cannot wait to try peanut butter and jelly sandwich on some of the protein sparing bread I've been testing. It's gonna be so good. Maybe that's what's for dinner tonight. Ooh, or grilled cheese. I'm gonna try this. It's so soft. That whipped cream on there. It looks so good. Wow. That is insanely light and fluffy and delicious. With the tartness from the raspberry, it is so good. I was saying if I had like lemons, I'd probably zest some lemon zest into the whipped cream also, or just right over top. It would look and taste really good. It is just so soft. That is a delicious angel food cake. It is amazing. I can't wait for strawberry season to come around again. And I always did biscuits because I didn't really like angel food cake that much because it was always kind of just too dry and just really sugary for me. But this isn't dry at all, and you can adjust the sweetness to whatever you want. So it is just like a great light dessert. And I know it's not angel food cake season, but you guys were asking for it, so I decided to try it, and I'm pretty glad I did because this is really good. Wow. It is a delicious sweet treat that has hardly any carbs in it. It's awesome. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this recipe and try it out for yourself. If you do, let me know in the comments below how you liked it. Tag me on Instagram at Keto Upgrade Chef if you make one of these guys, and let me see how it turned out. Don't forget to check out my Amazon links and the blog link to the full recipe in the description box below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And as always, I'll be back with many more keto dessert recipes. Bye guys.